Imagine a top-tier robotics lab, completely shut down overnight. Somehow, a single biological insect manages to crawl inside the main server, skittering directly across the glowing, intricate processor circuits. By morning, the staff finds the bug and removes it. The physical intruder is gone. But over the course of the night, it left tiny scratches across the motherboard's wiring. When they boot the robot up, it starts malfunctioning uncontrollably. The bug is gone, but the damage remains. Chronic overthinking, extreme self-doubt, and the fear of failure operate as mechanical software glitches deep in your base code. These glitches go by a clinical name, childhood trauma. And the frustrating part is, this faulty code was installed years ago, completely under your radar, by thousands of tiny moments you probably don't even remember. You aren't alone in dealing with this hidden programming. According to the World Health Organization, more than 60% of the global population carries these exact types of unseen emotional scars. This legacy survival program continues running in the background long after its utility has expired, draining your mental RAM. To understand how this faulty code gets written, look at the brain of a child. During our early years, our prefrontal cortex, the logical, reasoning part of the brain, is still under construction, but the amygdala, the emotional threat detection center, is fully awake and hyperactive. Because we lack logic at that age, we process the world entirely through emotion. If you receive love only when you get good grades or face strict punishment for small mistakes, your brain writes a permanent survival rule. Your worth is entirely dependent on your performance. This emotional wiring is incredibly potent. Take the case of a 15-year-old student from Hyderabad named Ria. For months, she endured relentless teasing from her classmates about her weight and her glasses. The mental burden compounded until she started feeling physical weakness in her legs. 2 weeks later, she was completely paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair. Extensive medical tests found nothing physically wrong. She had developed functional neurological disorder. The continuous fear and shame she felt in her mind possessed enough neurological power to shut down her physical body. Pure emotion overriding physical capability. The trauma doesn't require a dramatic event like severe bullying to take root. In 1965, psychologists conducted an experiment observing toddlers raised in emotionally deprived environments, like orphanages, where they lacked consistent care. The researchers placed these toddlers in a room filled with basic toy blocks. Instead of playing with the toys, the children completely ignored them. Their attention was fixated anxiously on the adults in the room, breathing heavily and watching their every move. When a child is starved of emotional safety, their natural curiosity shuts down. They learn to hyper-monitor their environment. In adulthood, this translates directly into extreme people-pleasing, suppressing your own joy or opinions just to manage the moods of the people around you. The Austrian neurologist Sigmund Freud argued exactly this point, stating that the mental state of an individual is determined by their early life experiences. When the developing brain doesn't feel safe, it rewrites its hierarchy of needs. It permanently upgrades the priority of external validation, placing it far above your own internal happiness. You cannot travel back in time to stop those initial emotional responses from forming, but the brain is highly plastic. You can update the software today using a 3-step protocol. Step 1 is to realize. You have to observe your own adult overreactions, like feeling sudden, intense jealousy or freezing up over a small decision, and trace them back to the specific childhood moments that installed that fear. Step 2 is to release. Repressed trauma acts like a violently shaken bottle of soda. If kept screwed on tight, the pressure just builds. You have to unscrew the cap and let the carbonation out, whether that's through journaling, speaking out loud, or crying. The third and final step is to rewire. To see how your brain handles long-standing default settings, close your eyes and visualize an apple. For almost everyone, the immediate image is red. Now keep your eyes closed and actively force that mental image of the apple to turn matte black. Even if it takes a moment of focus, you can override that decades-old default. Changing the color of an object is simple compared to untangling years of trauma, but it demonstrates the foundational property of neuroplasticity. Your brain can intentionally replace a default association. By identifying the origin of an anxious reaction and consciously choosing a new response, you begin the gradual work of building a new neurological path. Your past installed the handbrakes, but as the active programmer of your current life, you have the authority to disengage them.